Nick,
that's me.
Thank you for joining us, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. I'm amongst royalty.
For some of the people here may not know you, and for some of the listeners out there, just quickly, just give us a quick 60-second bio, Nick Moraitis.
About me and my life, what do you want to know?
Give it all, mate.
So I've been
the good, the bad, the ugly.
Been a real estate agent for 18 years now. Got into it at 20 years old, 21. Been in Newtown for 15 of those.
Wow.
Our business has grown a fair bit since I took over the sales part of the business 3.5 years ago, probably threefold, which is great.
Awesome.
Got a great young team. I've got a beautiful wife, 2 young kids. She looks after all of that, and I just do my job. We're a very traditional European-style family, you know. So no offence to anyone about that, but that's me, mate. Love to fish. Yeah, that's me.
You love the
that's
fishing?
Me. Yeah, that's
awesome.
me. That's really me. I'm a bit boring.
I don't think so. Nick, quickly, the reason I wanted to have you on the show today is you're very good at and highly successful in selling property, right? Meaning getting them sold, aligning your vendors very quickly. I don't know, what's your auction clearance rate at the moment? For you, I'm talking about.
For our business, because it's probably the whole model. My team's very good at it as well.
Yep.
I'd say a couple in my team are better than me this year. So I think last month we're at about 81%.
81%?
Yeah, under the hammer or prior. Yeah.
So can you tell us some of the key things that you do with your vendors in the marketplace, right?
Yeah.
That, aligns them on price and gets them to the bit where they need to, because like what Matt had mentioned today in our, when he did his session, he talked about, you really got to have that sweet spot. You can't be 10% over or whatever else. So what are some of the things that you feel contribute in this market to getting an 81%, clearance rate at auction for you?
So the first thing I find, even my team, and for a lot of people, they just struggle delivering the news. That's what I find with most agents. So I really cut the BS out from the start. So we do a slightly different thing. We stay on the market for a bit longer. Our auction campaigns are slightly extended.
How long are they? 5 weeks?
5 weeks, yeah. Yep. I know a lot of guys are doing 3 and 4. I haven't changed. Even in a hot market, always done 4 and 5. But the first week is to really determine where the market's at and what people think it's worth. Regardless, right now, you think you're on, but you're still off, because at the end of the day, you're in a downward market and you're trying to jump off at the right time. So you might think 1, 2, 1, 3. By the time you come on the market 4 weeks later, it's $1.50, 1, 1. You haven't done a bad job. You're not a bad agent. It's just that you're trying to catch it on the way down, and your owners need to know that as well. One thing with us is if the price is off, it's adjusted and it's a non-negotiable with our clients immediately. We sit down with them face to face, deliver them the facts and say, well, this is our new reevaluation and this is where it's at.
So they list with you knowing that you're coming back in week 1 with a
coming back as soon as we can.
Straight away. So you've set it up to sell from the beginning.
Yeah, from the start.
Look, our process.
The conversation's very clear from the start. Someone that doesn't want to sell generally won't list with me. Yeah. Because there's like in the listing presentation, we sort of get through that pretty quickly.
Pick it up in 6 weeks.
Yeah, well, if they don't want to sell, look, I've been stuck with clients, there's no doubt about it. I'm one that's very close and he just doesn't want to give in right now, So we've all had that situation. It just makes you stronger, that's what I say. But it's not an option. It is what it is. It's not my fault. I am not the gatekeeper of price. I'm there to create competition. I'm there to get your home sold. This is the best way forward. Some people will kick and scream. That's just
how many owners, Nick, when you walk in over the market when you first meet them? Most of them? Some
right
of them?
now?
Yeah.
I'd say 65, 70%.
Okay, so you have you walk in with an opinion of value?
Yeah.
Give that to them. What if they're off 10% and they say no?
We try to quickly reevaluate why we think where it's at.
And then you decide where you're going to price it before you come on. And then you say if you don't get any interest at this first week or 2, then you're coming back and we're reducing?
So the first week we'll try and take it to market and say, look, we're not quoting a price. We're trying not to deter anyone in the marketplace. If you're a buyer in the market at any price range, come and see this home. Tell us what you think it's worth. We try to get offers as soon as we can. Sometimes you can't. In this market, it can be very difficult. People want to compete at auction because they think they're going to get it for less in 4 weeks' time. We clutter it real quickly. We sit down with the clients and we say, well, you're at 1, 1, 1, 2. We thought 1 to 1, a lot of the feedback's 950. We have a problem. And we sit there and shut our mouths and just look at them until they speak. Some won't speak and just kick and scream, and I'll say, well, the reality is there's 100 people saying that, and us two are in the room and we think something different. So are we wrong or are they wrong? Let's try to create competition. Let's try to get as many people as we can there, and then you can make a decision as you come closer to the day, on the day, or prior if there's a standout buyer.
You're doing this face-to-face?
Face-to-face, yeah.
Always?
Yeah. It's a hard look. It's
critical.
It's a hard conversation. It's a very, very hard conversation. And we deal in an area where 44% of our homes are investment properties, so you can't do it face-to-face. So the conversation needs to be very critical.
You would suggest then what you said at the beginning, you're suggesting that agents that are failing at the moment are the ones that won't have the crucial conversations.
Too scared to.
Is that a fair call? Well, I don't think I'd agree with that right across the room, yeah? Clouds, your view on that?
Yep. Mate, it's happened. This might sound tough. I had to do it to my own sister twice, not once.
Yep.
And one of the times she had cancer. So that sort of makes you... And we weren't off. The market tanked on us. 2008, 9, whatever it was, and we thought something was worth 550. Bang, 450.
So not
go
being
to
attached to the outcome is critical.
It is what it is. Yeah, it's not me. Sorry.
And having. So we all like to have the nice conversations. Yeah. Even in our own personal lives, we all like to tell each other how good you look today, and your hair looks great, and you look great, and you're fresh, and all this stuff. Nobody likes to tell someone when they've got a black cloud over their head. It's just in life, isn't it, in general? So you've got to become, what you're saying, is an expert at delivering bad news.
You've got to get used to it and not be fearful of it. Like, this is an uncomfortable situation for me talking.
You know what, guys? This has not changed in 30 years, just as a matter of interest. Even in the boom, delivering bad news. It's just that it was easy to do it when it was going up because the market covered a few issues.
The market caught you.
Market caught you and made the crap agents look good, right?
The problem is a lot of, so without being rude, like a lot of people probably haven't seen this. I was lucky enough that I saw it in my first couple of years in real estate. You know, I got in, the market was...
Was that around the GFC?
No, 2001, 2. So the market was strong. I wanted to sell. My boss wouldn't let me. So he made me go sign up new business managements. And as soon as the market tanked, he said to me, righto, let's go. And he said, you can be a salesperson now. I was like, what do you mean? The party's been here for 2 years. He said, the party's over, let's start.
Full salespeople have left.
Best time to learn, though.
And that's what I say to my clients, even in listing presentations. I'm really, really sorry, but the party's over.
Is it fair to say, though, today, guys, and a question for Nick, but a question for the room, you don't need to do too much education today. Do we agree with that? They're looking at the same newspapers we are. They're reading the same, they're looking at the same news channels. They're following social media. Do we need to actually, so it would be simple to have that conversation, wouldn't it? It'd be like, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you know, I don't want to tell you anything you probably don't know. You're probably watching the same news channels I'm watching and just watching the same real estate results every weekend. Yeah. So it is what it is. It's a good way to start the conversation.
It's pretty easy from that point of view. The ones that are hard are the ones that have bought in the last 5 years. Yeah. So we've had several auctions in our marketplace. One on the weekend, they paid $2,300,000 in 2015 December. It sold for $2,220,000 last Saturday with 4 bidders, not one bidder, with 4 bidders. We sold something on Tuesday night. They paid $585 for it in 2014. We sold it for $635. 4 registered bidders, full auction room. It's not my fault. There's competition there. The client was over the moon because we did the right. The client had a reserve of $575. 5 years later, 10 grand under what he paid for it. It wasn't no aggression, nothing, over the moon. There was a process involved. There is a process involved, but it is what it is, and they are the facts. You just need to find those results to educate your clients that, hey, this is what's happening. Show them your own too. Don't be fearful of saying, oh, I only sold something 50 grand more 5 years later. Tell them there were 4 registered bidders and all 3 compete above 630.
Nick, what's your strategy? You walk into a house, you think it's worth 1 to 1. One owner says I want 1.5. Nick, can we just try it at 1.5? What will you say at that point in time?
I'd say I still think it's worth 1 to 1.1.
Yeah. Will you take that listing on?
Oh, let's give it a crack. Okay. If you're prepared to pay all the marketing, style the home. Like I got one right now, I've appraised it at 1.2 to 1.3. I've known the client for 20 years. He is spending $23,000 to get the house ready. He thinks it's worth 1.4, 1.5. I said, if it's not worth that, I said, we'll take it on, but I'm not quoting. I said, I won't quote. And I'm going to try and get people there on the day and see what we can do in the next 5 weeks. But someone spending 23 grand, like I said to him, the last conversation I had with him was, are you prepared to burn 23 grand to find it out? He said, yep, let's do this.
So there's a reason, I would say, behind that vendor that he's not telling Nick about to agree on that, why he's selling it.
Yeah.
Because no one burns 23,000 for fun.
I'm Greek, not my type of people. I say to them,
they don't burn 23 bucks.
No. They might do it on a Saturday after horses, but not on anything else. But like, that was a genuine question. I signed that up 7 weeks ago, and for the last 6 weeks I've been telling him not to come to market.
So remember we spoke about before not listening to what the expectations are. So I was asking you that question because a lot of people get into a fight. A lot of agents get into a fight, Clouds, at that point in time. I don't understand why you ever need to argue with the owner. If they want 1.5 and they're prepared to cut a cheque for 23 and you've told them it's 1 to 1.1, why would you argue? So I'm going to absolutely do my best to see if I can get 1.5. Because the chance sometimes has happened, I don't know if this happened to you, I've actually got 1.5 for them too.
Yeah, this might take off. This might take off.
You can't, we don't know. So you can't, no recommended retail price, remember that?
I came in on Monday and was baffled and said to my whole team was there and said, what do I do with this bloke? And I was like, 3 out of the 4 said, take it on. He's got stylists there today, he's had it painted, detailers are going through, and we're talking details like 2.5 grand to detail a house, not 300 bucks. There's contracts, there's a whole 7.5 grand marketing paid up front.
Have you asked him why he's selling?
He's just saying, I don't know, I think it's a good time.
So,
obviously he's living under a rock.
I know exactly. Look, he's going to be difficult work, but you're getting paid 20 grand. Obstetricians don't get paid that. So it's going to be hard. At the end of the day, we are in an industry of hope. The buyer hopes to buy it cheap. We hope to sell it. And the owner hopes to get as much as they can.
Good point.
That's the reality of it. So you've got to be that person that...
But you're not got to be. You've got not be attached to the buyer or the seller. That's where the problem is in our game. People get attached to one side.
Not interested.
And then you become effective when you're not. Well, ineffective if you're attached to the outcome, don't you? As a negotiator.
Yeah, it's not interested. I'm interested to know the situation because that helps me, get to a final point at the end. But no interest. Yeah, our job is to collect. You're going to collect the information. So if you're a prospector, you've got to collect data, collect appraisals, keep collecting. But as agents and senior agents, it's to collect buyers, to get them there on the day, to compete, to get the best outcome at the end. With terms, conditions, you're going to have to go up to the buyer and try and get an increased bid. You're going to have to try and go inside and get the reserve lowered. Things take time. We had one on Saturday that took about 34 minutes. The whole street emptied out. Came out, increased bid, 30 grand, deal done. The first thing for an agent to do is let's pass it in. That's something you've got to get better at.
So, Nick, do you like this market? Is it good for you?
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's tiring.
So there's a shift in thinking from somebody else going,
Tough.
It's tough, I can't make sales.
I'm tired.
And Johnny that just left? Yep. 20 listings, did he say?
Yep.
He's got someone else out there hasn't got 1 listing. He's got 20, same market, same conditions, same sun in the sky. He's got 20 listings. Someone else in Canberra's got no listings. Someone in your market, there's agents in your market that wouldn't have an auction at the moment. There's
more experience, like in our marketplace, and I'm very proud of my young team. We've got the most listings, and we're probably the youngest team. So, we have a small team. We're pretty young. That's my biggest battle now. I'm trying to let go somewhat and become a better motivator and become a better trainer. I think I said that to you outside, and that's something I'm trying to work on.
That's good.
A lot over the next couple of years.
The big thing is, first of all, at least you're aware of it.
Yeah.
Because most people aren't.
I know my style's a bit out of whack, but it's got to get better. And I've got to become better at it. I speak to Claudio about it all the time. I'm always questioning myself. I speak to plenty of friends. I've rang Nick on several occasions. I've rang other friends on several occasions. Am I going mad? Is it me? So I always question myself on that. And I think that's a big thing. Always look at yourself and just don't be scared. Don't let fear hold you back. I had a boss tell me once.
That's a big one. Yeah.
And that's the honest truth. Don't let it hold you back in this market.
Is that the orange circle?
It's all circles.
Would you agree, the orange one? Fear zone?
100%.
Like affected by other people's opinions, who cares, lack of self-confidence. You've got to get past that quickly. And excuses. The market's this, the market's that. It's hot, it's cold, it rained on Saturday, it's this, it's that.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I had a client say to me tomorrow, it's election day. I said, well, okay. Awesome.
And it's going to be it's going to be election day this weekend. It's going to be a long weekend in June. The school holidays between May and that. We just had Easter, so I think there's 1 week in the year to sell real estate. If you're listening to real estate agents, right?
It might be done. That's why we're doing big rooms as well.
Christmas is coming. We just had Easter, right? The school holidays in 4 times this year, and might have an interest rate.
No doubt about this year. There's a lot of noise.
You pack up and go home.
A lot of noise and interruption in the first 5 or 6 months.
It's just how it is.
Once that it washes out, I don't see the market getting, like some people I think are under some predetermined thing that the market's going to get better, and I'm like, okay. It's quite funny because it seems like we're nowhere near the bottom.
No, I'm with you.
It seems like we're nowhere near the bottom. There's, people trying to say, oh, well, we've hit the bottom. The ABC reported that yesterday. I said, okay, come to an open house on a Saturday. You guys know how hard it is to close someone. And you're trying to close someone at 200 grand unders. And it's still hard. But it won't get easier. It won't get easier. You just got to prepare yourself for it and do whatever you do to prepare yourself for it. It will be tiring, but it'll also make you a lot better agent, a lot thicker skin, and very rewarding.
Absolutely.
Very rewarding
Experience.
Looks like you said, obstetricians don't get paid 20 grand, right?
Yeah, that's right. And they're the best in the best in their field. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So Nick, mate, definitely hearing like you got to be caring, but you got to be candid with your vendors in this market. You can't be
direct.
You can't be one way. Sometimes people don't want to have the hard conversation, and if you're too caring, you have a dysfunctional relationship with your vendor. And if you're too candid, well, they'll start to resent you. So you got to have that fine line of being caring and candid. Tell them as it is, but it's a balance, yeah. Yeah,
it is a balance. Like, look, there are some meetings that are going to be uncomfortable for everyone, them and you. Like we had. Sometimes that old style of they're not listening until they're screaming, sometimes it's true, as bad as that sounds. You don't want them screaming, but you need them to know that where it's actually at. And a lot of people leave it till the last day, like you said something about, I've seen agents leave it for the auctioneer to do. That's unfair on the auctioneer, in my opinion.
Never going to happen.
And you need to be in collaboration with your whole team right now, whether it's your auctioneer, your second agent. All of you need to be in collaboration. It's a big thing, and be united, because it's a very, very big thing.
So true.
When you're trying to set reserves and you're trying to say to someone, well, I know you want 1.4, but I really like a reserve of 1.150, 1.2, and hope. I've heard agents say things like, hopefully we get there. They want to know that they're going to get there. So be in for the fun ride.
Yeah, I think it was at Kerry Packer that said, if you don't want to have hard conversations, go and sell ice cream. Well, think about it.
That'd be Kerry.
Ice cream shops, you're not having any hard conversation with chocolate, strawberry or vanilla. And everyone's happy when they walk in an ice cream shop, right?
You're not wrong. That was my first job, actually. Funny enough, but yeah. But it is. It's rewarding. You'll see vendors' relief when the deal's done. You'll see how happy they are. They're not all going to want to give you their full motivation, but I just look at it, anyone that wants to put their home on the market in the current conditions, they're motivated by something. They're just not telling you everything.
All right. Hey, Nick, thanks for joining us, dude.
Thanks for having me, mate. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Really appreciate it.
Got something great from this episode? It would mean the world to us if you passed it on. Tune in each week as we mentor a new agent. Have a question? Want to be on the show? Get in touch with Claudio Encina, Matt Lahood, or visit our Facebook page. The Mentors is brought to you by Sprinkler.media.